Hey everyone, welcome to BrickVault. Today I get to share with you a great little model for beefing up your Imperial ground forces. This is the minifigure scale ATMP from the designer Alex Sirman. This walker only ever appeared in the mobile games Star Wars Commander and Star Wars Rebel Recon missions. It's defined by its large head, anti-infantry rotary laser cannon, and of course its side-mounted missile pods. This does in fact stand for All-Terrain Missile Platform. I'd say it's the halfway point between an AT-RT and an AT-ST of sorts. Its armor is strong enough to take some small arms fire, while at the same time it's able to fight off heavier vehicles with its missiles. I've really been enjoying this model. It adds a bit more armor to the Imperial infantry. I made 2 initially, but I might make a couple more because they look great and they're really easy to mess around with, so that makes it fun to add into future dioramas. Now, before I jump into the model features, let me first just say that if you are interested in building one for yourself, you can get the instructions at our web store, BrickVault.toys. 100% of the sales for the ATMP instructions will go to the SUDEP Aware charity, which is also linked in the description, but more on that at the end of the video. With each instructions purchase comes a PDF step-by-step guide and a digital parts list to upload for ordering your pieces online. All of our models are hand tested for strength, instruction steps are troubleshot for clarity, and parts for the model are chosen so they can be found more easily. This model has 2 different instructions variations, in fact, one with space to fit a minifigure pilot, and one that's maybe a little easier to construct and handle, but you can only fit a fig halfway in. That is BrickVault.toys if you want to get started. And now let's take a closer look at the ATMPs. Even though this is a Star Wars design that comes from the mid-2010s, it feels pretty old school. If someone showed me this render of the ATMP as it appears in the Recon Missions game, I'd tell you this might be something from Mech Warrior 3 or some other Battletech design from the 90s. That combination of joints for the legs really harkens back to this point in time for mecha design. Plus, it has missile pods and essentially a minigun. This is basically a mech I tried to draw on my homework when I was 9 years old. Now, the Star Warsiness does come back to the build, especially in the angular shape of the head. The corners are very sharp, like on an AT-ST. Plus, the black split front face for the cockpit looks too close to a Mandalorian helmet for that to be some kind of coincidence. Now, talking about the front face, this is probably the easiest way to show you the very few and very minor visual differences between the 2 slight variations of the ATMP design. These 2 models are, in fact, slightly different. There is some very minor difference in the spacing right around the front for the face. You can see some of the plating on the sides of the head line up just a little bit different, and the version with no option to seat a minifigure pilot has wedge plates 1 stud shorter here on the sides compared to the other. At the end of the day, the trade-off here is purely preferential. The builder who doesn't mind slightly more delicate construction connections will be able to get a fig all the way in the model. Handling the head requires maybe a little more knowledge on how to touch or not touch the build so you don't push something out of place, but you can see me moving it around right now. The model is still fairly casual to handle, pose, or articulate. Now, the second version mostly just has internal changes for the head, making it a slightly easier model to construct, and it adds a couple extra points of reinforcement on the inside so the handling is a little bit more casual. Depending on what certain folks want also from their models, getting a fig to stick out halfway might just be all you ever really want to do with this build, so it's really whatever floats your boat. Now, I keep saying the word casual in this video, and maybe what I really mean is easy to move. The model has tons of joints and all kinds of poses can be made with this little walker. The ATMP can crouch down really low, it can lean forward, look back, turn the head, tilt the head, and because so many of the joints are on mixels, the stance can get very, very wide, while at the same time it's still able to get flat footing, which gives you all kinds of strong balancing points when you want to put it into various walking poses. I don't know if this counts as a karate kick, But I think you get the point. This little build can move around in ways that you wish an AT-ST could. And I think that's why in the beginning I said it's good for dioramas. It's an expressive little robot build, plus extremely easy to interact with. Now, I really enjoy building this model. It's got a lot of merits on its own as a fun little mech design. Plus, it's kind of excellent as a little light Imperial assault vehicle. It fills in that niche I think that was missing perhaps with the ground forces. We don't really get walkers at this size like this, and frankly, I would love to see some AT-MPs pop up in one of the new Star Wars shows or movies soon. Ultimately, I think it would be great to just see what a live-action version of this model would look like someday. Now, I've got to change gears for this video. I don't really know how to make a transition, so I'm just going to start. I mentioned in the beginning that 100% of the instruction sales for this design is going towards SUDEP Aware. Tragically, during the onboarding process for the AT-MPs, Alex Sirman, the designer, suddenly passed away. SUDEP Aware is an acronym for the Sudden Unexpected Death in Epilepsy. It's an organization that spreads awareness of the condition, encourages discussion, and vitally funds research that explores preventative measures. Alex was 19 years old, and in communication with the Sirman family, it's felt that Alex still would have wanted the model launched, instructions posted, a video made, so it could be seen. So you guys, the members of the LEGO community and beyond, could check it out. Like always, I'd like to know what you guys think about the build, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. Even sticking around for this long in the video is good for getting this thing shared. And once again, what do you think about the build? Like, comment, do whatever you guys do, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.